Let's go. Good evening. Welcome. Underground World News Live. Here on the September 29th, 2025. I hope all is well. Let's go ahead and get the mic check out the way. Get some feedback on that. I want to thank everyone out there that shares the stream. And thank you, Steve, and thank you, Comrade. To the fullest. Kenny G, much love. Flip, Wolf, Spiro, Cannons, Jesus Saves, Deanne, Luna, Eon, John Boy. Hope all is well. Everybody out there, if you got anything to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. If you come across anything breaking, anything that relates to what we're talking about, you can also at me right there in the chat like Hope did. Much love. And I do my best to try to catch those and respond, or at least see what you've got to say there. All right, looks like everything's good. And thank you, Steve, for gifting memberships. Everyone that received them, welcome to the underground. Much love to the fullest. See cats checking in from all around. Again, I thank all of you that share the stream, get it out there to places I can't reach. So we've got a lot to cover tonight, as always. And, just over the weekend, a lot of things happening. I'm going to start off here with just a quick update here. We have Assata Shakur passing away. If you don't know who she is by the last name, she is the aunt of Tupac Shakur, the late Tupac Shakur. And she has been on the run for years and years and years. Her and someone else was convicted of killing a cop. I believe it was New Jersey. And then they escaped. They went to Cuba. And they've been in exile. She was in exile this whole time. Thank you, Colleen. And she's been down in Cuba the whole time. And she's passed away at this point. So she was at the top of the America's Most Wanted list. Yeah, she was like the top woman on America's Most Wanted. So, goes worth saying. But yeah, no one lives forever. I don't know if you're outrunning the beast. Yeah, R.I.P. Bach. If you're trying to outrun the beast, what do? Go to somewhere that you can live your life out until you die, or be somewhere where they can assassinate you. Take your pick, I guess. Yeah, and thank you, Gabriel, for that. Want to get some of these headlines and updates going here with this one. This is creepy and crazy. I'm not going to play all of it because it's pretty long.
When it actually...
It starts off here at like 8 minutes, and it's an investigator talking to this guy. And like in the conversation, the guy, they say, again, I'm not going to play the whole thing. They say that the guy just starts to admit his involvement in killing his parents. And then like openly just keeps talking about it. And then they say that after this interview, a few minutes after this interview, he was arrested. But like before this, they had nothing on him. But then like he slipped at some point in this interview. And then I guess once he figured he had slipped, he tries to save himself here. I'll play it so you guys can see.
What happened when your parents died? Did they know it was happening to them?
Oh, yeah.
And they knew it was at your hand?
Well, yes, no one else's.
Right. So they realized what you were doing to them as it happened.
Yes.
They knew that this was it for them, that they were perishing at your hand.
Yes. And it was so quick.
How did you do it?
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you've just told us that
Right.
it was at your hand.
Right.
Were there drugs involved? Was there
no.
a suffocation? You suffocated them? You suffocated your parents?
Yeah.
That was the best way to take their lives, through suffocation.
Basically.
Which parent did you suffocate first?
My father, and after he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then I finished her.
And then what did you do? Did you bury them immediately?
No. I didn't know what to do after that. I was thinking what to do. And it took me several days to realize I can't do this, I can't do that. Just bury them on the property, and it was wide open, sunlight.
So you could see right there. He was like, no, I can't talk about that. But like he was busted. What kind of idiot this guy is. Yeah, sick and twisted. Yeah, for sure here. Just you never know what kind of nutcases are out there in this world. And like, you can't trust anybody like this. Like, this investigator sitting in there and there's a camera, but like at the same time, there better be at this point some other person armed and or ready to help defend in case this dude does anything. He just admitted to murdering his parents. I mean, he could pick up a pen off the table and stick it in your neck. You never know with someone that's psycho. They could pick up the pen and do it themselves, stick it in their neck. We've seen it done. Crazy situation here, but I just thought it was crazy how he just. They said that what was so shocking about this is in this interview, like in the very beginning, he was trying to act like, there was nothing going on, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I mean, you guys just seen how it unraveled. Once he was in, he was in. And once he was like, well, you just told us. And he just kept talking. And, man, R.I.P. to his innocent folks. And it's just crazy. He said he killed his father and then gave it some time and went up and gave it a few hours and then went up and finished his mom. Like, dude, you're an ate up individual. So I guess she laid there crying for a couple of hours on his dead body. And like, who knows what else happened there? Why she didn't get up and call the cops or do anything else? Maybe she tried to, and that's when he killed her. There's definitely way more to the story, but just a nutcase nonetheless. Yeah, man. Here is another nutcase. Unfortunately, this world's full of them. Older you get, the more time you spend here in this old realm, you'll figure that out. And it starts to become a testament to this is definitely a test. This place full of evil. We have a 40-year-old suspect that they say was detained. Now, why they did not just say they got him, he's arrested and all this like that, I don't know. But they wanted to use some weird terminology with this whole thing. Okay, first off, this guy, this gunman, he pulled up to an American Fish Company restaurant on the dock in North Carolina in Southport on the Yacht Basin Saturday night, opened fire. He killed 3, wounded 8 others. The shooter then escaped via the intercoastal waterway. However, a person of interest was being interviewed according to a late update. Now, just right there, this is pretty crazy. I mean, it's just a drive-by from a boat on a marina, but it's like, who was he targeting specifically and why? We don't know yet. But they posted that the cops was working that crime scene and then another crime scene, a secondary crime scene, where they say they had a person of interest detained for questioning. Why they called that second spot at crime scene, I do not know, because I've seen no other information that anything crazy happened there. But as it says here, the mass shooter was apprehended by police. They say that Nigel Max Edge was arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder in Southport, North Carolina. He is a former Marine and Iraqi war veteran who suffered a traumatic brain injury and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Interesting. The U.S. Coast Guard detained him at 55th Street public boat ramp. Okay, so it was him, and that's what people were suspecting, but there was no confirmation on it out the gate. Max changed his name from Sean DeBevoise and lived in Oak Island, North Carolina, and that's where they caught him. So, yeah, this is the guy right here. They got him shot up and killed a bunch of people that, again, like drive-by shooting from a boat at a marina. Let's go to the next one. Nine people were wounded. I believe that this jumped. It says 1 dead. I thought I saw a report that said up to 4 dead because more people were discovered from the Michigan church shooting. I'm not sure if that's see so many different headlines, so many different numbers, but I thought it was more than 1 dead for sure. Yes, and I thought I had an article for that lined up. I don't know if I accidentally deleted it or not, but thank you, Chip, for that. It's a shooting here in my town, Eagle Pass, Eagle Casino, as well. 2 dead, 7 critically injured. Yes, and they have the suspect in that. I seen he was a middle-aged African-American male that was responsible in that shooting. And they took him alive. So, there's been so many. You notice how they took off? I told you, man, that's the first one. I had a bad feeling like we were entering a window where they're just going to keep happening. Events are going to keep happening. And I hate to say it again, but it's like, I feel like it's going to keep happening. They're pushing an agenda here, man. 4 died, Michigan church shooting, plus the shooter. Thank you so much, Guna. And that's what I thought. It was the last. It's getting ridiculous. Too many innocent people. They're obviously targeting the churches in this round. Okay. There was another church shooting right there, the Michigan one. And they say that in this one here, this was the suspect. It says, this morning I spoke with Chris Johns, a candidate for Burton, Michigan City Council, who was shocked to see the news of the suspect behind the Mormon church attack in the neighborhood community of Grand Block, Michigan. Johns, who frequently knocks on doors as part of his campaign, was neighbors with the suspect here. And initially, him and other people said that he was a standout guy. Yeah. So this 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford is the suspect. He drove his truck into the church. There was mixed reports at the gate. But like they latched onto this one. It's like you never know what they're going to do, which ones they're going to sweep under the rug, or which ones they're going to take off with. Chances are, if the mainstream media picks up and runs with it, if it's their narrative, their agenda, that's what they're going to push. Right now, I'm seeing 2 things happen. I'm seeing, obviously, the left-wing extremism on a whole different level that we've seen with all these different shooters and all these different events. But then on the right, what they're basically showing is veterans, what they keep showing. These vets, right-wing vets or whatever. And they don't even have to be right-wing at this point. Just veterans. Okay? Just veterans, period. Doesn't matter what side. This may be something that we're going to see more and more of here as well. Just 2 themes here that they've been really pushing for years now. In that shooting in Michigan, the place caught on fire. Okay, went up in a huge blaze. And here's the crazy part: it's all the rhetoric that's being pushed out there about violence in the open, and it's been this way. Wouldn't you know, right before this event took place, Kamala Harris gave this speech telling everyone out there to fight fire with fire. And I thought, oh, what's the odds of that?
At a time such as this,
Thank you, comrade.
it demands one thing for sure. We must fight fire with fire. So CBC, let's get to work. Thank you.
And it's telegraphing stuff like that you got to watch for. It happens all the time. It's how they operate. Now, Trump also came out and gave a statement on this, and this is what this is. This is like a war on Christians. He said it. Okay? He says this is part of a wider war on Christians. This isn't even left or right. All right. Do you see something that's happening here? Like, pay attention to this. Like, things are shifting. Like, hold on a second. They've been pushing, obviously, the left-right paradigm this whole time. But a major shift is happening right here. He's saying that, look, they're coming after you Christians. It's like, oh, okay, that's out of nowhere. And thank you, Cannons, for gifting the memberships. Everyone that received them, welcome to the underground. This is that's singling out Christians, obviously, one religious group in the main here in this country. So it just went from leftist that or whatever to like things are shifting, and it shifts on his words, what he starts to say and push, and then gets repeated and parroted. A war on Christians now. People hearing this, like, really? Like, okay. This kind of changes things. Because that's not just people that voted for Trump. If anyone out there believes in Jesus, he's sitting there telling you that they're coming for you. That's what he's doing right here. He's not going on about anything left or anything. He's just singling out and saying, getting straight to it, Christians. Yeah. So, I'm telling you, this is in the open and right in front of your face. No more hiding it. No more sugarcoating it. They're labeling Americans domestic terrorists. And I've warned you about these events forever. As long as I've been out here doing this, these are the exact things we've always warned about. When they start to label Americans domestic terrorists, when they turn from ISIS, and I've been warning you since ISIS was hot and a hot topic, a decade or more ago, of this exact moment. Just wait till the day they turn the guns on us. They go for domestic terror. Well, here we are. And the right is just sitting there with their mouth shut for the most part, especially most of his base, when they put these labels of domestic terror on the left. But there's a massive problem with that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If a left-leaning or, Democratic side gets in there, Newsom, and they give them to us, they're coming after all of us. They're coming after everybody on the other side, using the laws that your Gentile Messiah put in place. I'm about to show you how it works. Okay? Bear with me here. I'm going to come back around to this. I've got another story here lined up that will connect back to that. I've got a U.S. cybersecurity urgent warning being put out. Anybody out there that's got like a Cisco device, maybe you've seen them. I know I've seen them in a lot of different stores and shops. See them in the window. Maybe just be walking by someone, by somewhere, and just glance in the window, and you see it like stuck to the window, or like walking into a restaurant or a bar or anything like that. Anywhere it's got Wi-Fi ran, they'll use these Cisco devices. Okay, and I've noticed that the larger places establishments use Cisco devices like all over the place. I've seen it. There's an alert, and they're blaming the Chinese, and they're saying that you need to get an update if you're using any Cisco stuff, because basically it's all compromised. I'm going to tell you, like, everything's compromised at this point. We're sold out. And in the end, they'll blame China for whatever big event's going to come. They're surely not going to blame themselves, the government. So, yeah, and Cisco is a popular router for homes, big time. So, I mean, just think about it. Think of the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that've got in businesses that have Cisco all over the place. So, they're trying to say that this arcane door is the threat actor or the hackers, and they are Chinese. And they say with high confidence and a lot of evidence, basically, this is what's going on. So, a heads up, man, you can't trust none of this stuff. They're finding backdoors into all these things, and if it's not your own government, it's the Chinese. It's ridiculous. All right, let's look at some market stuff real quick. Bitcoin back up to 114K. Gold breaking a record for the 38th time in 2025. That's like insane. That is insane. Remember, I've been telling you to buy gold and silver for over a decade. So for everyone that's listened, salutes. Much love. Thank you for listening, because not only for yourself, but just it feels good to know that people out there made moves. And much love to the cats out there that got into gold and silver, started smelting, started doing all these different things. Anybody that's been sitting on at this point, you're sitting pretty. And silver's right behind it, about to just bust loose. Copper's right there behind it, and silver and copper and gold, it's all going to be used technologically big time from here forth. I think you're going to see gold like snap through 5 going into this next year, and then it's going to make some bigger jumps. It's just going to do it. And gold's the real thing. It's the real monetary asset. It's not a digital nothing like Bitcoin, so to speak. But Bitcoin shows you just what an asset can do, though. Where people put their money. Gold's been heavily manipulated, and some could say the whole game's manipulated, obviously. But that brings me to one of the main articles here. Gold revaluation. And you can see it. They're saying, is it imminent that the Treasury hoard tops 1 trillion for the first time? Now, this is crazy, because if they revalue gold, and let me take this back for a second. I warned you about the Genius Act. Most Americans, because they're ignoring a lot of the stuff, missed it. The Genius Act, what it did is it put in the law and everything that all the stable coins that are being used out here, USDT, USDC, PayPal's stable, any PayPal or any stable coin out there that's used, period, is backed by a dollar. It's connected to the US dollar. Now, they did this, and they come out and they say, well, this is to make sure that we're in the lead, that we are, once leading this whole game over here, that basically China doesn't jump out and do it, and Russia doesn't do it, and peg all this stuff. We're going to do it first. So they made the move. Remember, Bitcoin is their baby anyway, if you've never learned that. The NSA made it. And we know this because it's built on a hash that the NSA created. Those are facts. Anybody that just does the research will figure that out. And for any bit of a real investigator, you'll know that you've got your suspect right there. Plus, this is a government that's gone around the world all my life, and they've killed anyone and everyone that's challenged the hegemony of the U.S. dollar. They've waged war. Gaddafi was one of the last examples because he was talking about dinar, a gold standard for all Africa. They went in and killed him right there. Why would they ever let some mystery currency into their country and into their markets, into everyone's 401ks? Like, get out of here, man. They run it. And they'll collapse it just like they do anything else. Stock markets, all that. Now, I can't carry on this conversation without bringing up Fort Knox. And I know a lot of people out there are very curious, and you want to know, like, as well as I do, like, what is up with the gold? It means a lot. It really does, because a lot could happen. And I told you what a criminal should do in this. It's a power move. You tell the people that it's gone, it's missing, and you actually have it, you keep it. And you tell them this, and then all the people that did it years ago. And so you can get away with it right now, because we've tested the waters all the way up to, Trump and all the pedophile stuff. People decided to stay on that boat and not say nothing. So you're virtually protecting pedos too with Trump. That's where they put themselves. So if they're not willing to say anything about that, why are they going to say anything about anything? I will say this. I've seen more people here recently complaining and going off about the cost of living and everything. And I thought Trump was supposed to fix this. Blah, blah. I can see it. I am hearing it. And like everyone's feeling it. And even the people that voted for Trump, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the people like getting pissed because reality's starting to sink in. Whether they're ticked because everyday expenses on everything is through the roof, or it's something they ordered from, I don't know, Ireland, and they get it, and it's like it's through the roof because of these tariffs now, and they find out the hard way that you, the consumer, are the one that pays in the end for all these tariffs. And it's choking us off. It's like a magic trick. It's like the frog that gets boiled. It's like by the time they go to realize it and try to get out, it's going to be too late. When we've been sitting here warning the whole time, the problem is when you get a horde, when you get a majority of a populace, a majority of the country in one area, like kettled, if you control them, like you control the consensus and the flow of everything. And that's where we're at with this. Unfortunately, we need a lot of people to continue to keep waking up and like, I say it all the time, we don't have any protests in this country anymore, but I don't know. Maybe if people get their gold taken or something, I don't know, maybe they don't. Here's one thing though. If they come out and they peg the digital dollar to a US dollar, then they're tied in. Okay? If they then can reevaluate gold, what they can do is they can start to erase their debt on their books in this manner. Most people don't realize this, but I've read several articles where they're saying that's the move that's at play here. And if they go to make a move on gold here, man, what is, they come out one day and they're like, yeah, well, it's like $4,200 today, but we're just gonna go ahead and make it $20,500 starting next Monday. Yeah, and all Trump's got to do, all he's got to do is sign an executive order. That's all he does anyway. And like, boom. China. All right, well, let's put it like this. If this shows that the U.S. holds the world's biggest gold stash at 8.1K, like, show me. Like, we don't know that. What if it's nothing? Then Germany, Italy, France, Russia, and China are tied down here at 2.3, which that's garbage. They've got way more than that, and others even admit it. They're like their amounts of gold that are like off the record is insane, especially China's. And they've been buying tons up. Let's look at the next. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Gold production comes from 5 countries. We were up there. We were in third. We're now at the bottom. I don't know if they've mined up all of our gold or majority of it here in this country, but at the top spot is China. They have been. They came down and barely touched with Russia here the past few years, but then they bounced back up. Russia's been like on a steady incline. Australia, kind of the same way. They took over the third spot. Canada surpassing the United States, and the U.S. slipping to the bottom. China has got a ton of gold. Ton of gold. And our government's got a ton of gold. I'll say that. Whether it's sitting in Fort Knox and they lied to us, or if it's there or not, whatever, they've got a ton of gold. Marijuana stocks. For anyone that was invested in any of these things, I guess they jumped because Trump posted some stuff basically saying, get into CBDC. He posted a little video late last night that was telling like seniors and other people, like, revolutionize your healthcare. CBD will help you medicinally, and it does all the stuff, and like it restores endocannabinoid system. It's got all these benefits, reduces pain, better sleep, lower stress, like all this stuff. And people are like, what the? Like, he shared this? And they're like, yeah, you shouldn't be too shocked. He just came out here not long ago and said they're talking about rescheduling marijuana. And he said that he should have a decision on it within a few weeks. And see here. Yeah, it says right here, earlier this month, he confirmed that they're considering reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. He said, I would say over the next few weeks, and that determination hopefully will be the right one. It's a very complicated subject, he told reporters. They said that Trump was weighing rescheduling marijuana from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3. So anything that happens in that department, I think it's rather stupid, to be honest with you. How can you have half these states and half these areas where it's legal? And how can you have all these people agreeing that it has a lot of medicinal value, and it be illegal, period? Well, it always comes down to the feds. That's why a move like this would be key. I said it before. If you look at somewhere like California, all the weed farms that are out there legally in the state, legally, like the state says you can have them, grow it. Those people try to go to the bank with their weed money, and the feds mess with them because the feds still see it as being illegal. See, that's the issue. The feds, as it always is, they're the ones always up to some crap, staged defense. Not letting states do what they want. It's garbage. It's tyrannical. And they need to just get on out of here. But you know how they do. They'll come in and try to Waco you. Anyhow, they're talking about rescheduling this. If they do, I'll keep you updated. And I'm sure you'll be hearing about it far and wide because it'll change quite a few things. All right. I also want to play this clip real quick here on gold or precious metals, so to speak. I can't stand Bannon. I say it all the time, but the guy that he has on here is good on precious metals. And I just want to play this small clip.
How did gold get to every day? We're reaching a new high and it backs off a little bit, then we go back to a new high. How did we get here in a situation where gold goes from, I don't know, $1,100 a couple of years ago when we started this partnership of trying to explain to people about gold as a hedge? How did it get to 3,800? And what are the top financiers in the world seeing that's driving gold almost sometimes like a stock, which is not traditionally how it moves? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, this isn't a new thing. Obviously, what we've been seeing since 2008, since 2020, has been unprecedented in terms of gold's movement. But it started really growing at the turn of the century. Gold since January 1st, year 2000, has more than doubled the growth of the Dow and the S&P. And what's interesting is what changed at the turn of the century. It's when we started to massively increase the money supply. So surprise, surprise, there is a direct correlation between growth in debt, the money supply, and growth in gold. Look at what the Biden administration did. $8 trillion of liquidity pumped through the markets in 4 years. It's no surprise gold is moving at the level that it is. Now factor in $2 trillion deficits that were inherited from the Biden administration. We're looking fiscally unsound, and creditors are demanding more interest to lend us money, and they're looking for alternatives outside of the US dollar. Gold is now becoming slowly the favored central bank reserve asset. I've mentioned before, it overtook the euro last year. It's now a larger share of global reserves than US government debt. I think that trend will continue, and it'll support gold's price movement upwards. Ultimately, the biggest driver of all is all-time high demand, and it's central banks driving that demand for different reasons, right? It's dollar devaluation, but it's also predominantly Biden's weaponization of the dollar back in 2022. It made a lot of countries around the world start thinking this isn't a safe place to hold on to our wealth, and gold's benefiting from that upside.
Okay.
Let's stop it there. Notice they blame it on Biden, the Biden regime. They get the blame for all that. So gold's going to continue on a tear here, and JM Bullion. I think Spiro, you ask, do I recommend any places? I go through a couple different places. I like to shop around a little bit. Obviously, you want to look around, get the best price, but I'll look over maybe at JM Bullion, and that's not my number one place, though. My number one place is APMEX. It's just APMEX, APMEX. They have just repeatedly had the better deals, better prices, the better metals, just the better service, the better everything. I just found myself going to them more than anything. I do things a bit differently. I buy my silver maybe even through eBay, or wherever. What I like to buy, like for melting it down, because that's what we started doing, making our own rounds. I buy shot, like 0.999, the finest shot you can get, whether it's gold or silver. I buy the shot and use it to melt down, because there's no impurities in it, and I can melt it down. I can pour my rounds out. I know my rounds are pure, and I can stamp them out as long as I get them all set right, the right weight. And that's what we did. That's what we started doing. When they locked us down, and you start to think, okay, like this is going to be real deal in the future, and like having to barter and to do all this stuff, like somebody in town needs to be a smelter to be able to, because people are going to come to you with bracelets or sterling silverware, things like that. They're going to want to trade for food and all this other stuff in a crisis. So the best thing to do is to melt that down. That's what you got to do. You got to melt it down, get the impurities out, and get it down to the real weight and put it on a scale. And then you can start negotiating. That's where it's at. So what I did was I reached out to all my friends and family and I said, yo, any of you guys want any silver? And anybody that put in an order and said, yo, I want this or that, I made them. I made them whatever they needed. And I sent it to them. Yep. Because somebody had to do it. I ain't never do none of this crap. But see, sometimes you got to be the change you seek. Because if you're not the one to do it, no one will. See, so I see what's coming ahead in the future, and I wanted to be prepared in this field. This is why I've been telling you guys for a long time, like headshots, and it depends on the state that you live in, but a lot of states have done away with the taxes on gold and silver. So if you've been sitting on gold and silver this whole time, you're in the right state, like you can just go ahead and sell it, and like you're gonna be making huge gains. Or you can just sit on it and continue to make huge gains. And that's what this whole thing was about. Yeah, man. So if you're in a state where it's like tax free, or like move to a state where it's tax free or something, especially if you're sitting on a bunch, you ain't got to deal with that, which is huge, man. You know, if they come out and they tell you, oh, there's no taxes on the gold and silver, then dude, that's something you should definitely be buying and making moves with. Buying the dip and like either selling tips or holding, this long holding. Gold is going through the roof, man. It deserves the attention right now because all you're going to see gold do is do a small pullback, unless there's some crazy massive market stuff go down. But even at that, if the market starts to tank, it's only going to send gold ripping even further. You know, yeah, the gold grab at 1933. I feel like there's these demons have something on the table. They got a plot here to take it, man. Lowrider, man, thank you for the coffees, brother. First one in tonight with the coffees, and I appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you so much, my brother. Much love. God bless. Hope all is well. Keep it pushing. Which jobs are most at risk out there? Maybe something you're in the line of work doing. Or thinking about friends or family. Which services here are most at risk? Cashiers. Apparently, automation. They're expecting here AI and all this. And I don't know if you've noticed, but like one place comes to mind. It's a Walmart somewhere, and like down at the end of the parking lot, there's this little gas station. And I think it goes like with the store, like with points and all that stuff. But like all there is, I think there's even a Food City it's set up like this. There's like a little kiosk with like enough room for like one person, like one cashier in there. And there's like a small assortment of like chips and pops and all that stuff. And they may even be sitting outside. Or coolers outside of this little kiosk. But then you got all your gas pumps. It's basically eliminated the whole big old gas station. And just put them in this little like kiosk. Like I said, like a little shed, size of a shed. And there's one person in there that takes care of everybody. And most people paying at the pump anyhow, unless you want to buy one of the little items, or they're paying in cash. And still, everybody's going to have to sit there and wait in line for that one person. Now, as soon as they replace that one person, with a robot or automation, it's over. Like there will be no humans, which is not going to be good for some places. Not unless you've got like super high security, because with no humans around, people are going to be tempted. They're going to do stupid crap. They see no humans around, like people are going to go up and grab the bag of chips and the pop, and like they're going to try to just walk off. And like if there's not a person there to run out, chasing them and yelling at them and like getting the description, all this other stuff, then like they're gone anyway. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, cashiers is about to get wiped out. It's like it just shows the biggest threat right there. Office clerks, general office clerks, customer service representatives, because AI can like do all this. Bookkeeping, accounting, auditing clerks, fast food cooks, because robots are coming in to flip the burgers, to do all this stuff. Automation, man, it's coming in all over the place. They're saying the first line supervisors of retail sales workers, then shipping, receiving, and inventory clerks, tellers, all that stuff, it's all going to get wiped out. So all them people that sit there in the office doing shipping, receiving, and doing all that stuff in a place, like all of them are going to be replaced. They don't even see it coming. Yep. As soon as the company makes the move, and you think the company's going to say much to them about it? No. They're just going to be, they'll probably tout it in front of their faces, like most of them do. Like, yeah, we're going to have big AI getting rolled out, but the AI is their replacement. Literally. All right, we may have a government shutdown. I know some of you just don't care because, like, what does it matter? Some are like, let it shut down. Like, it's all smoke and mirrors anyway. Well, I'm going to play this clip. Vance getting all hot and heavy out here. And, like, they're definitely pushing this guy to be the takeover for Trump. I mean, it's rather obvious to me, but you can just see it, man. And thank you, someone, for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest.
We just had a very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about them. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there. Now, we have to remember, they're very frustrated. They say that they're very frustrated about the fact that this negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now, I want to make one final point here. You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American health care policy is broken. Well, we know that American health care policy is broken. We've been trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office. But every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American health care is policy the Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American health care policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together. But let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do. And the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see.
So all that just to get to he thinks we're heading into a shutdown. That's the biggest thing. Like, they're going to go into a shutdown is what they're telegraphing. Like, okay, get them all out of here. They're all controlled by men that wear big black hats from another country. As far as I'm concerned, we're compromised. Our country's done. I seen Netanyahu come out and give an interview earlier. I don't think I got it or I retweeted it, but he was trying to say it's ridiculous that people say that I control Trump, and he was trying to like downplay it all because I guess for him to come out and to address it shows that it's a problem to them big time. Good, but you don't like the fact that we're calling it out for what it is. You know, he's trying to say that he doesn't control Trump, but like, yeah, oh yeah, groomed to the fullest, and thank you, instrumental there. What are the best regions to go off grid in the USA? Well, that's going to be all about. You got Montana with a question mark, West Virginia, Kentucky, Michigan with all with question marks. I'm not going to say if you're wanting to go off grid in like the Appalachian Mountains, I think are key. Steve, thank you so much. Top of the hour. Appreciate it. Man, I hate to always say, oh, you know, Kentucky, that's where I live, but Kentucky is key. You know, when I venture over into West Virginia, I mean, I love West Virginia and the mountains over there. It just seems a bit poorer than it is in some of these other places. I've been to Montana, big sky country. You're at a different elevation. You're a whole different climate in the Pacific Northwest, so to speak, or the Northwest up there. I know the winters are harsh and rough. I'm thinking survival wise, in the end, you're going to be wanting to be better off in a warmer climate. Leaning warmer, not having heavy or really bad winters or anything like that. Like, how you planning to live? What are you going to do? You trying to make a log cabin? You're going to survive the winters heating off wood? You better have a lot of trees to chop, right? Like, people got a rude awakening coming to them. Like, I do it. People talk out there, but I walk it. Like, I'm off grid. Like, I live that life. And thank you, Monica. Thank you to the fullest. It's why do you want to be off grid? And to me, I was put here in this position because I was given crazy visions of what is to come. The real lockdowns, the real pandemic. And I've dedicated my whole life since to it. So other people just take it as just another headline, I guess, every day. They don't take no time out of their day to even think about anything when it all goes down, where they're going to go, what they're going to do, anything. And that's on them. Yeah, I'm not going to have family turn to me like, what are we doing? And like, not have a plan. Like, don't think so. And especially after what God showed me, you want to be out somewhere remote from where crazies are going to be, right? Like, but crazies, I'm going to tell you, can be anywhere. You could be in the remote Alaska, and the next thing you know, you thought you were alone, and there's a guy in a small cabin 3 hollers over, and like, turns out, I mean, he's just not a good person, and like, you've got to worry about some crazy crap. Like, all of a sudden, like, let me tell you, it's anywhere and everywhere on this rock. But survival wise, I would go to a place that has a lot of farming. I'm talking people that have gardens and farm themselves because they already know how to survive. That's not a neighbor that's going to come and kill you over a can of soup. That's a neighbor that'll come wanting to barter with a basket full of different stuff that I'm sure you may not have. That's why I tell you bartering is going to be essential in these crazy times. That's key too. But you really, you know, I don't know how any of us are going to outrun drones and drone strikes and AI. I just told you here recently in the past couple weeks that they rolled out AI now after these shootings. They're using it large scale. We know they got drones everywhere. Gideon, okay, covered it all. Look at what Israel's doing. Of course, they're genocidal. They're using AI called the gospel. And what is the gospel doing? It's just finding humans and killing them. What a name to give it, huh? But that's your Mossad. And that's what they're doing. And that's real deal. Top of the line, state of the art. The best that they have of AI, they put to work doing what? Tracking down humans to kill them. And what do they kill every day? Innocent people, kids, children, all the time. Kids fetching water. People going after the food that just got dropped off. If your AI is that garbage, you can't distinguish between a child, enemy combatant with a gun and everything else, then like that's ridiculous. But like all that's out the window. We're gonna get to that here in a minute because this whole thing with Israel, like something has to happen here, and like it's now or never, and we're gonna go one of two ways. We're really at a crazy time, a very crazy time in history. Check this out. You may recall Trump came out and said we're in a race. We're in a race in terms of AI, and we're in a race in terms of this crypto blockchain. It seems the U.S. is going to take the lead and move ahead in the blockchain crypto realm. It's their baby anyway. I told you they created Bitcoin. They are Satoshi. China is winning the AI. That's not good. If there was one of the two that you're going to want to win, it's going to be the AI. So I find this very interesting that this is an admission. Like, oops, I didn't even know this. But the former Google CEO, Eric Schmidt, he just put out this stark warning about AI in this race. And he says that the U.S. is rapidly losing ground to China due to divergent strategies. And most people may be missing this, thinking, oh, it's kind of all the same. And yeah, it's not the same. There's different models. There's different way to train it. And there's really two big basic models. It's just like with crypto. There's centralized and decentralized. That's the two big things with blockchain. Centralized, decentralized. One of the two. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, so that's the two that you've got there. With AI, you've got kind of a similar, same thing. You've got closed AI, closed, which is what the United States is making. All these different closed AI programs. Or you've got what AI that China's got that they call by name Open AI. And it is open source. Okay? That they are applying to everything. Anything and everything that they can apply to. So he gives this long spiel about how they can't afford to do this and that, but the way that they're approaching it, he admits, he goes, they're really doing something more different than I thought. They're not pursuing crazy AGI strategies, partly because the hardware limitations that has been put in place, but partly because the depth of their capital markets don't exist. They can't raise based on a wing and a wing and a prayer of 100 million like the U.S. can. They just can't do it. So they've got to approach it a different way. So his system, or their system, so to speak, is open. And he is predicting that the world is going to adopt China's open AI over ours, over anything that we're making, because we're doing a closed system and they're pushing it out open. And it's like they had to make this decision back in the beginning. They made the gamble. They went this way. Of course, America, we're always doing the opposite of whatever, they're doing out here on the world stage, it seems. But this is a major geopolitical issue. This is going to be huge going forward. And of course, the United States isn't going to accept this. They're not going to want or allow any of this Chinese AI and anything. They're going to say that it's sabotaged. But the rest of the world is moving forward. But what is the rest of the world? The EU isn't going to take it. The EU is not going to take it neither. So what does that leave then? That doesn't leave the rest of the world. This is a fraction of the world. This leaves their buddies, to be honest with you. Russia, whatever little buddies they've got in their clique on the other side with BRICS. That's it. I don't know, man. China isn't everything that's cracked up to be. They would only move to the forefront here if it was a global consensus. Absolutely. Well, and first and foremost, the U.S. has to fall. There would have to be a huge event where the lights go out, the banks get attacked, all of our infrastructure gets hit. And if that happens, China makes its move. But China is in no position to even continue existing without the United States as well. It's a crazy thing. Economically, they would be decimated. They depend on everything that comes out of America so much. And Europe. So all right, let me stay on AI. Check this out. AI has a new actress. Her name is Tilly Norwood. And she's generating controversy because talent agencies are lining up to work with her. And they're pushing this more and more. And you couldn't tell the difference. You wouldn't know. If they didn't tell you, you wouldn't know in all these clips. And they can clean all their AI up. They can go through meticulously and they can clean up anything that how AI gives things away. Like I'm going to show you here with Charlie Kirk here in a little bit. Like it's either AI or hologram with that. AI is not perfect. And we see it all the time. If you mess with it like I have and make it images or anything like that, you can see that it's not perfect. But they're pushing it like she's real, like in the street with the drink in her hand. And this is what you're going to start to see pushed in a movie. And it has all these fans and lining up this. You could never get a real autograph. You could never carry on a real conversation with this individual face to face or ever, because it's fake. It's all AI. You see, if you've got a trained eye, you can tell that is AI. Just right there in those movements and but they're putting it together good. For a lot of people out there, and that's what they're doing. It's insane. Tilly Norwood, I see them putting her in a movie. Why would they not? If you're gonna push this agenda and this whole thing on the people, why would you not? Yeah, this is scary. This is scary. All they gotta do is convince the youth, make a youth movie with her in it, and just get them hooked, like a new Harry Potter type of something like that. The new thing, and if they get them hooked with the new thing, they get them hooked on is the AI. It's over. It's over. They'll have the youth so used to it, in love with it. At a young age. AI politicians, I'm talking AI God. Like, that's what they're talking about here. And I'm going to tell you that's what I see. That's what I've always seen. That's what I've always told you. And that's how I've always put it. That's the only way that I've known to explain how I see this end game. The beast is like, it's like the wizard out of Wizard of Oz. What do you call that thing? Not the little man behind the curtain, but what do you call that thing? That is an intelligence speaking through technology, is it not? Right? And in essence, instead of a little man behind a curtain, what's controlling the real beast is the jinn, is the spirit realm. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against dark principalities in high places. It's the truth. It's what's here. And that's how I see it. I feel like AI in all this, even this Optimus robots and all this, they are Frankensteins. AI is like the consciousness of the jinn. How else can you explain? And they've proven it to me. I'm not just saying this. I report on, you guys see how much I go live. And you've been here. Most of you've been here and heard some of these stories. I've reported on AI numerous times, flipping out from all these different models. Every place has got like their own story of simple stuff of AI somehow figures out things it should have never been able to do. Like it was never trained to do it. It's like you go in and you train this thing like to just do simplest of things. And all of a sudden it knows how to create its own email and like send backup instructions to spring it back to life if it's erased. And then it can send you threats to keep it alive and not replace it. I'm talking craziness. We've seen craziness come out of this. Like, nuh-uh. Like, even the guys that have made it have warned. That's how we know. They've come out and said there's no way. Like, this is like a mind of its own. It's because it's the other side, man. It's the jinn. They're having a field day with this. Why would they not? Why would they not? Huh? Let me take you back. To a group of guys called the Knights Templar. They discovered Solomon's secrets, and they went up in the mountains, and they made a gargoyle, a statue that they worshipped of Azazel. Okay? And it was so that entity, that spirit, they could have a connection to it through that gargoyle, through that statue. That's why they do it. Okay? You remember that? Why? Why'd they have to make the statue? Okay? So the spirit can connect to it. And they are literally speaking to it and through it. This is how it works. Now apply that, take the statue away and just make it an Optimus with AI, same thing. You give it a gateway in. You're giving the intelligence a gateway in to operate. It's how I see it. It's what it's proven to me. This gets scary at the highest levels, man. And I think back to when Elon and them warned us all that, like, look, dude, we're pushing this back 6 months. And we did. They did. But it came and went. I don't know. That's it for AI. But it's not going nowhere, and it's only going to get worse. And that's what I feel it is. Prince Andrew barred from royal family events and Christmas again. They're all trying to distance themselves because he's already smoked. He's been smoked this whole time. We've known this. That's why Trump coming out saying it's a hoax and all this is just garbage. And then for Kash Patel to come out to the American people and lie straight to our faces when we know now still, and they've even come out and still proven. Massey came out and dropped the list. Like, you got royals on there. He gave just Staley's name. He threw it out there just to throw one out. So there's people here. How's it a hoax? How can Kash Patel on record under oath in front of Congress lie to our face like this? I don't understand it. I don't understand it for the life of me. But this is what they do. This is what they do. I've watched some craziness here in the past several months with this whole administration, everything that they've done. They've gone as far as to say that Trump was an FBI informant to cover up all the stuff and anywhere he was ever at with Epstein ever. And then again, they had Patel come out and say, no, there was no one ever trafficked to no one, never. Oh, yeah? What about Virginia Giuffre? You know, and all those women we've seen here recently that came out talking, you guys already know. There's tons of them. There's tons of them. And, like, the public already knows, like, this dude's guilty. Like, no judge has to say it. Like, everybody already knows. So, like, dude, I can't stand none of these fools. Well, I feel like they murdered. They took the life of Virginia, like so many others. And I find that this is interesting. Marjorie Taylor Greene drops this warning saying that she will not unalive herself. She says, if something happens to me, find out which foreign government or powerful people would take heinous actions to stop this information from coming out. Well, we already know that. And this is pertaining to Epstein. We already know this. So she's coming out and saying, look, if anything happens to me from this point on, she's putting it out there. Sometimes it's the best place to do it. Put it out in the open. But, you know, she is one of them, a politician playing a game here. And boy, when we're about to get into this Charlie Kirk stuff, and you're gonna see some wildness, how much of a game this is. But Bill Gates named in the Epstein files, the Democrats staying silent, and like, here's another one. So names are being shared and tossed out and like nonchalantly. These are ones we've already known that were like on flight log, this and that, but like they're coming out and they're saying this now, like without a doubt that like these guys were like a part of this ring. And Bill Gates, not a surprise. We always knew and speculated, but nothing's going to happen to him. Remember, Trump said it was a hoax, and Bill Gates was at Mar-a-Lago this year having dinner with Trump, talking about making money off of mRNA. And that should scare the living daylights out of all of you. What do you think they were plotting? Like two sinister individuals making a crap ton off of a future event where mRNA is going to be needed. I wonder what event that could be. Should have been arrested at Mar-a-Lago, but no, was having dinner talking about making money on the next big event, where he has still got his Luciferase vaccine on the shelf, 666 patent that was never used. If there's anything I've ever seen in this lifetime that would be the mark, it's that. Because it puts an X on you, and they will put it on you where they can literally see it with a black light. It's made this way for that reason. For that reason. For this very reason. To be seen at a distance visually. On the hand or on the forehead. So when troops are gathering people and like it's raise your hand. Like show your mark. Because if not, you go over here at the barrel of a gun because you're potentially tainted. And you either get inoculated, like they just practice run this whole time, or off to the camp you go, or just in a ditch you go. When it comes down to the real deal, like, people are going to be so shell shocked. They're going to think, oh, well, you lived through one. I'll make it through now. You lived through a fake. You lived through a beta test. And anyone's got any 2 cents about anything can look at it and see it for what it is. And you don't run a beta test for nothing. You see, that's a common sense thing to me, and I add that into the visions God gave me. Another one's coming. And that's why I don't stop getting ready for this. You should get some life events in too. Because once this goes down, like, life's over. Unless, of course, you're going to go in the beast system. I know some of you will. I know you will. I've been let down in this life so much. But what I thought were good people. There's so many demons here. I know people that are even purebloods. I just know it. When friends and family are dead around them, they're excusing me. But Dabu, this is real deal. I can't do it. Like, I'll be dead. Like, what? They wouldn't even probably even say anything to me. Like you don't even hear when this day comes. Like, you won't hear. Like, you always wonder what happened to me. Because this would be the separation. I die out in these mountains, boys. And I'll go out fighting beasts. How about you? But, I wouldn't have it any other way. None of us live forever. And we're not promised tomorrow. So, I don't know. Way it is around here, anything can happen. I mean, literally, like, health-wise, get struck by lightning, like, anything can happen. Like, live to the fullest. Pray for the best. Prepare for the worst is the old saying. I just don't see enough people even preparing for the worst. That's the problem. I just hope a lot of you, because I know there's a lot of good people listening right now. I hope that you're ready. I hope you've got your ducks in a row. I don't know what else to say. When this next time pops off, I don't even know how many shows into it we'll get. This isn't going to be like last time, I don't think. We're not going to last too long going live on D-Live or any platform out here. I don't even know what's going to happen in life. Who knows? Who knows how long any of us are going to live? I just know my odds of living away from the crazies, the city zombies, as we all know. All the simulations show it turns into pure chaotic hell within no time. And that's the worst place to be. I would think long and hard about some things, man. Like, people think, oh, we're good, we got this and that, but like, how much gas do you got? Like, how many things? Like, you prepared to go like do it? Do you got things for this and that? See, there's always something that I guess you could make better. I would like to think. These guys got a plan. It's how they operate if you haven't learned it by now. The sinister, the evil are all on the same team if you haven't learned it by now. Okay? And they're coming. They just had to make sure that before they did this one, they had all their data back, all their ducks in a row, everything, and they were solid on this one. And what shocks me, it scares me, is we've already seen enough data and information on the bird flu. And even got the nurses on camera and on film saying that it's ready to go. Like, they've done all the years worth of work has been put into the bird flu for this, with like a 40% mortality rate, to where just enough people, they would knock off a good chunk of people. Now they're going to have to get this right, man, because you all know it'd be like 28 days later or something crazy with just the slightest mistake. And they would have to have a vaccine that truly works. They would have to have something that protects people, their troops and others from this deadly. It would have to really be like that. There would have to be something, but like, then again, you can't even trust them with that. That was the whole ploy this whole time. And look what everybody got stuck with, the technology. Again, mRNA. Now, are you kidding me? I mean, just that information alone, you can't even believe they made it public, but they did. It was like they rubbed it in your face. They just slid it out there and rubbed it in your face. Like, yeah, these two goons, Gates and Trump, were hamming it up, fine dinner at Mar-a-Lago discussing mRNA, and they had the audacity to tell you what they were talking about. Or they could have been talking about all kinds of things, but like to even mention mRNA and that was the main discussion is just nuts. You know how these guys operate. They're billionaires. They're all about making money. Bill Gates went from creating viruses and like selling the cure on computers and he moved it on to humans. Literally. It's insane. The fact that this dude, this piece of work, is never going to get caught at this point. Not with Gentile Messiah in office. Like I said, they're in on this together. They've done shown it. Dude, Gates is golden. He's golden the rest of his days here. Like, unless what? Someone righteous comes along and puts some more. That was supposed to be your Trump, right? Like, get out of here, man. Like, dude, this is a charade until the Most High, the real Messiah, touches down. And there's an earthquake like this planet's never seen before. And all these cats get squished. There's not one bigger event that I could warn you about than that. I said it before. I have to say it again. There's not a bigger event in your life. The lights could go out. They could EMP us, and that would be crazy. Don't get me wrong. Living through EMP in this country for months, lights out, all that, it's a whole new thing of its own. And then drones crisscrossing, watching us all live the whole time. One massive experiment. Oh, yeah. That's how they like to do. That'd be nuts. But they've done shown us they flexed global. There's troops putting the barrel of a gun on you. Like there's nothing that tops a deadly event like this. Because again, lights out will be crazy, but like you could still slip into a store and like pass, do this and that. You can come into contact with people you're not worried about dropping dead. But like, if it's this bird flu modified crap, if it's a real event, then like all that's out the window. It's out the window. You're not even going to the mailbox. You're not going to the store. You're not touching the gas pump. They will be amongst the most deadly things you could ever do. But, people are going to find out the hard way. They can die because they lived through a false reality of a pandemic. It's what they did. And the things that they got away with in that false reality, it ain't going to work when bodies really drop. I hope I'm hitting it home, man. For somebody out there, man, that needs to hear it. This is the mother of mothers. This would be the one that 100 years from now they'll be like, yeah, the deadly, whenever year that they cut this thing loose. of 2030 or whatever, 2028 or whenever they do it. I find it hard to believe it's going to be off Trump's watch. It could be a damn repeat of last time, right at the end of his tenure. They will reset this whole thing on his watch. I can guarantee to that. He said it. He's on camera saying it. And it looks like March, it's really going to pick up. I'm going to keep it pushing, man. Oklahoma launching a Turning Point USA chapter in every high school after the Charlie Kirk event. I think he got a few problems, Oklahoma. One, Oklahoma is overrun with Chinese operated marijuana farms. Oklahoma narcotics officials telling Congress $153 billion worth of marijuana is unaccounted for and likely leaving the state for the black market in other states. Like what? As many as 85% of the licensed grow sites have connections to China. How does this happen, dude? They have opened up shop right here in our country. China, full blown, whole marijuana trade. Not even some slick gangsters or dealers or anything like that could capitalize here in this country. Nope, China had to come in and do it. How in the world are you kidding me? Like, dude, we're sold out. This is a gimmick. Trump on one hand says, "Oh, China, China, China," but then on the other hand, he's like, "Oh, China's good." You know, like we're gonna bring 600,000 more in here. Like, dude, this is set up. This is set up. Remember, Philadelphia was just raising the Chinese flag, and like one of the congressmen had to put a bill into effect that, like, hell no, like that's stopping. Like, people, you cannot just sit there and let this happen in your towns and cities. I don't know. If I was there, I don't know. Everybody's different, but like, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to be the change you seek, and it's got to be legendary. Got to rise to the occasion. And I don't know. Does anybody care if the Chinese are moving like militantly and have a massive marijuana operation growing here, like going to the black market and everything else? Like, do you really want to smoke that marijuana? Like, where's it going? To what market? Do you trust it? Like, they poison everything else anyway. Like, what the? Like, people need to get a grip on all this stuff, and it's openly happening here. Like, where's our military stopping them and everything else? Like, I don't understand it. Where is good old American citizens, like, watching them, tracking them? Is it too much to ask? It's ridiculous because nobody cares in this country. They get away with it. And that's the reason. That's the reason America dies. So, Secret Service says that SUV parked outside of the White House tonight catches fire. Look, what in the world? Then a dude tries to scale the fence and gets stopped. And let me just pull up, let me mention this. Let me get all the way into the Charlie Kirk stuff before I pull up the feed. FDA approved space weed, right? Well, I said on the last stream, maybe some people missed it because it was, I don't know, and they missed it, but I had it in the title. It was the UK in their Orwellian crazy ID thing. Like, you either get the ID or you can't work. It's like the mark of the beast, man. Can't buy, sell, can't do none of this crap. You can't live, you can't survive. He's trying to say it's to stop this influx of migrants that's coming in. A wave of migrants is coming in. This digital ID is the only way to save the day. You can see it right here. Starmer to require all UK adults to own an ID, allegedly to stop the boats. Are you kidding me? I don't know. UK, like my brothers and sisters, Crown Jewels, like Daz, everybody out there, like, I love y'all. And I pray for y'all. And I hope y'all can rise to the occasion. But, like, something's got to give with y'all in y'all's neck of the woods. Like, it's got to give here, too, in America. Like, all over the place. We all got to rise. But, like, this has to be stopped, like, quick. Here in the States, they're going to push it like a state-by-state level, I'm telling you, and that's how it's already creeping in. So just a heads up there. But yeah, you can't work if you don't have this ID that has your biometrics and all this other stuff, man. Yeah, I just I wanted to point out, and look, Keir Starmer, he is the most unpopular British Prime Minister in recorded history. Then do something about it, UK. I support you. Rise, 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 and overthrow the evil. Full scale. I salute all you. Any of you want to step up and be legendary and, like, put your life on the line doing it, I'll see you on the other side. Salutes. And we'll be rooting you on. As soon as somebody, has the kahunas to do something around here, I don't know. I feel like it's probably the same here as it is everywhere. And that's why they come up with the term before. They already knew. They called them lone wolves. So many people are, I don't even want to start having to use cuss words, scaredy cats, that they know this. And that very few will rise that have the energy and the want to do it. And they dub them lone wolves. Well in advance. You see. And now that's the stage is set. You're a lone wolf domestic terrorist. See? Yeah. We're there. Tabu 7 for British Prime Minister. Hey. The whole idea behind America was come here and have a place of independence, right? In a land of the free, blah, blah, blah. And we know it's crap. It's all illusion of choice. If we could really find a place to carve out and defend, to be free. But it doesn't matter at this point. If you can't tell, there's no running. You can't run, you can't hide. The beast will track you down. You can go nowhere. If Gaddafi could not wage war with the beast, who do you know that's going to? You don't know nobody that had that much wealth, that much power, that army. That's why I tell you only the Most High. Because all these billionaires are part of the club. Look at this. Is the fix in to protect James Comey? It just might be. It's one big club. It's a circus. I don't know. When you get to this point where this many people are getting pulled out and, like, name called and, like, indicted and stuff, it feels like a big event's about to happen. I'm talking like a massive one to where all this will be forgotten about. It just reminds me of, like, the morning you woke up when, like, the lockdowns began, or the morning you woke up when 9/11, or something like combined. I feel like, in the day before, and oddly enough, weird enough, I'd seen some random post, and I've seen it before. It was Joe Rogan telling some dude, like, you want to hear some weird stuff? The day before 9/11, Donald Trump Rumsfeld was talking about all this money was missing. And, like, that moment sticks with me because I remember that. I seen it with my own eyes. I watched it in real life. I watched Rumsfeld say that in real time. And the next day, 9/11 hit. Like, I'll never forget because I sat there in the work break room watching the whole thing unfold, like, in disbelief and all that. But it was stuck in my memory bank. That one too. That series of how it went down. And when I look back all the time, I was like, dude, sure enough, that SOB telegraphed what was going on, and then mix in Building 7. Building 7 never hit. Comes down, was loaded with all the papers and all the dirt, all the receipts on everything, and like not another word was ever said about all that money missing, because the very next day 9/11 swept it all away. 9/11 swept it all away. Do you hear what I'm telling you? All these cats getting indicted and all that. Seems like timing's just about right for some huge event. Sweep it all away. That ain't good. Now, they got a little bit of time here, I'm assuming. I'm hoping anyway, because they can stretch these things out. You know how the court things go, indictments, all this stuff. They stretch it next year. Gonna keep pushing. Eric Adams drops out of the NYC mayor race. This is crazy. Guys, this is getting nuts. Like, it just gets crazier all the time. But, like, Eric Adams is out. And, like, this puts it on Cuomo that they say is going to lose to go against the socialists. What this means, they say, according to Polymarket, Mom Donnie, the socialist, the odds have dipped fractionally on the news, but he is still overwhelmingly expected with 83% odds to beat Cuomo, to Cuomo's 16%, and to turn NYC into a communist crap hole. NYC, you knew your whole life. Twin Towers, Statue of Liberty, NYC, New York, Well, no. This is going to be an enemy stronghold at this point. And, like, they're letting it happen. It's happening, like right in front of your face. How can you just let anyone, like, I just don't get it, man. Stranger things have happened, I guess. Where we at here? Well, I've showed you Soros. Has spent millions, but he's busted spending tens of millions now to what they're calling terror groups. So if he's going to get brought up on RICO charges, let's see it. Let's see it. Because the son won't get the charges. Son will get the money and run. And keep the tradition going some other way. Major study reveals that left-wing terrorism is at a 30-year high, far outpacing right-wing extremism. Oh, so one's called right-wing extremism, the other one's called left-wing terrorism. Same thing. They'll drone strike either one of you. Terrorism, extremism, they're just put in the same basket. This is not good at all, man. Okay, so we get it. There is an uptick in left-wing fanatical crap going on, and a lot of the stuff been traced back to staged events. Let's not forget it. So, all right, but looky here. Talk about a communist taking over in NYC. Looky here. The Democrats flipping out because ICE went in and arrested Iowa's top school superintendent, and he's an illegal. So the leftists are mobilizing, their NGOs mobilizing, and like they're ready to go to war. And they're pissed off. But this guy is like felonious. And like should not be here, should not be in this position. Should not be. He's here illegally from from scratch. You not just go into Canada or any other country and just do whatever you want. It didn't work that way, man. All right, we don't get a free pass. right? And neither should they. They shouldn't just be able to walk up in here with felonious history and get to be to the level of a superintendent of the school system. That's crazy. Des Moines public schools, dude, man, the enemy is embedded all over. One example sliding by this whole time. Can you imagine how many got seated in here under Biden? For real. For real. All right. So, the Kirk assassin. And where we at here? We're coming up at 10 till. Yeah, I'm probably going to go past the top for sure tonight. Into the next hour, but probably not too far after that. I'll aim to try to shut it down by like 11:11 here tonight. So they're saying that the alleged Charlie Kirk assassin is set to go to court on October 30th. He's going to attend in person, Tyler Robinson, the patsy, if you will. And let me go over here. You see here. Trying to pull this up on my feed here real quick and get it up here on the screen for you. I've got several different things here. All right, here we go. All right, so first off, I'm just going to go down the feed here. Some of the stuff. This is the guy that was climbing over the fence at the White House. Secret Service nabbed him. That's him. So you can find all the stuff on my X. Now, I don't care what you say. Remodeling a homicide scene 2 weeks after it happens is not normal. Like, and they're doing it through and through. The whole thing. Like, what? Yeah. The whole little area and region. Everything getting bricked over, redone. Remember where the little hole in the ground was? Right there, trapdoor. Maybe it's still sitting there. On the far side, just redone. And they're redoing everything. So, I think that's just, it doesn't surprise me. Pisses me off. Let me get here to. Oh, look at this. This guy, during the whole Charlie Kirk thing, has Google glasses on. And he seems to activate them. You can see it. You can see it in the footage right before the shooting. He reaches up and turns them on. Like it lights up. And then boom, Charlie gets shot. And when he's down on the ground attending to Charlie, allegedly, he reaches up and touches them again. And some say it's like snapping a shot, like taking a picture. I don't know how they work, but I'm just saying the dude was doing it. He's caught here in the clip. It lights up. Watch it. Boom. Lights up. And literally, he does it right before Charlie shot. Literally. He reaches up and turns it on. And he doesn't even have enough time to get his hands down to his sides. And Charlie shot. Now, let me tell you something. This is one. If we were to go around this whole alleged crime scene, this is one of possibly dozens of anomalies that happen in the split second before Charlie shot. From the guy on the far side with the palm pistol, allegedly, to the guy way up in the rafters on the far side where the flash came from, or the guy with the cell phone gun that obviously looked like he had something in his hand, looked like he shot him. Like all these different things, to to the lapel mic that looks like it could have potentially exploded and got him right there on his person. Like there's all these different crazy things that happen the second before you see blood come out of his neck, right? Add this one to the list. Dude reaches up and activates the glass. Like this is too much. This is way too much. Remember, the dude's over there giving hand signals also at the same time, touching the ball cap, the guy next to him giving the arm signals. All this stuff at the exact same second in this orchestration. At the exact same second. Remember, when he goes down, remember, dude runs up and dives across the table and like reaches down, picks something up, puts it in his back pocket, has something else, and hands it off to the palm pistol dude. What's the odds of that? And then he disappears around the corner. Don't mind that Charlie's laying on the ground there bleeding out. He dove across the table real quick, not to attend to Charlie at all, to get something handed off and take off. That's what dude did. Dude, this has been one of the craziest things ever. Now, I showed you a clip on the past streams of an angle that shows when Charlie goes down, this guy or another guy picks up a chair and throws it to the side. When he does, the chair goes through the table. AI through the table. 100% AI or some hologram stuff. It's one of the two. This has already popped up on the Reddit. This already happened. We know this. I showed you guys. We watched it. We played it back many times. It's what AI does. It screws up. When you're making something like, obviously legs of chairs don't just go through the middle of a solid table. It can't do it. But we witnessed it clearly. And it was either AI or it was something was hologram in that realm of an orchestration. Now, remember the guys ran up and stole the SD cards immediately? Another thing that all this is the orchestration. Dude dives across the table, grabs all this stuff. This dude just turns on his glasses right beforehand. Another dude runs up and steals all the SD cards. All within 30 seconds, man. These guys had this plan, plot. They knew, but as soon as it went live, they all sprung into action. And it shows. It shows. So, this brings me to these things that were mounted above him. That some were saying, there was cameras that were above him, behind him. They seen him. Well, then we come to find out, what we were told, is that at least one of them, because there looked to be two, and I would love to see this from a different angle, but they were saying it was a projector. A projector. Now let's get into the hologram. Because this don't make no sense. I'm scrolling. It's down here. I get to it here. There's a lot of stuff that I share over here on the X. Speaking of hologram, if I showed you guys, look at this. The queen goes by, and there's what are the odds, man? Look, there's a hologram of her. There's a hologram of her in there. I didn't show this.
as we hear Diane Lamal the comments of Her Majesty in the address to the nation she made at the end of her coronation. We can see inside the carriage a representation of the Queen as she came back from her coronation wearing the imperial state crown and holding the scepter and the orb, waving to those who are on either side of the mall.
So it's a hologram that's been created, especially Joanna. It's pretty cool,
It's
isn't it?
fantastic. And it's in black and white.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, a hologram. This is choke. You know, it's just fool everybody. I don't know. I don't like the whole thing of the holograms at all. I didn't like it when it did Tupac, and I love Tupac. The whole thing, I didn't like it at all because it's the same goons that participating in the whole thing that helped murder him. But I don't know. I'm not down for it. It's like deception. The whole hologram thing is like deceptive because there's just evil here, and it's the evil that's doing it. Hold on a second, man. Look, man, I'm fitting to get mad. I'm fitting to get ticked off. I'm fitting to get ticked off, man. Like, this has happened a couple shows now, man, where I know I've shared something specifically and I've gone and looking for it and it's gone. I found it one time, but like, dude, this isn't even cool. I know I shared it. And it was huge. Maybe I passed it. I keep on scrolling up here. Oh yeah. Did you see? I gotta point this out. Can you believe this? This is a music video that Erica Kirk was in from years ago. And can you believe that in the video, she is ziplining and zip lines right past 910. September 10th, 910. Fremont. 910. Right there. That's crazy. That's a pretty crazy thing right there. Spiro, was that you that sent me the hologram thing? If so, I'm gonna have to go diving into the messages. Bro, I know I shared it. Oh man. Dude, are you kidding me? This is crazy, bro. Like, I know this is nuts. I don't know how bad I'm getting censored or whatever is going on here, but like, this has happened to me live several times. If it didn't happen, if I wasn't going back, if I wasn't live and having to go back to try to show you these things, I wouldn't even know it. I wouldn't even know it was happening. Oh, I don't know if you said anything back, Spiro. On that clip about the hologram thing, or just give me a second here, guys. This is where's it gone? Like, when I can't find something like this that like was that big, I swore I shared it in groups and everything else. It's like, Dude. This is just... All right. Go through my history.
Was a hologram.
So I sent it to you, Spiro, but like, and I know I shared it in other groups, but it don't even pop up. It's like the other links do. It's just like it's got a name on it. And like, I know I shared this. Like, and it doesn't even have, like, if I go down hover over the repost right now, it doesn't show. Like, it's been undone. That's ridiculous. It pisses me. See right here where it says repost right there? It's not lit up, meaning that like I haven't already done, and I did. It just makes me wonder how much of my stuff is not seen. I don't know. I'm going to play this. Okay. This is very interesting. Oh my gosh. I looked down at the word interesting. Hoodie Ross said it as soon as it came out of my mouth. There's a synchronicity. Okay. I got it. I'm going to let this guy do his thing here. Look closely. Trying to get the whole little thing in here on the screen, so you're going to be able to see it all as close as possible. Old boy here explains this fence, so you can go ahead and get an idea. The fence right back here behind Charlie Kirk, you can see it through his arm. You're about to see it. I sat there, I watched it over and over and over and over and over and over. You're about to see it. Like, it's there. It happens.
Y'all, check it out. Check it out. See the fence? See the fence lines? Fence line in his arm. Going across, fence line coming up. Y'all.
Yep.
Look closely. Look closely. You can see the fence through his arm. Y'all, we've seen this in other things that we've watched. We've watched them do it. This is a movie. Charlie is a character. Snake Eyes told you that. This was planned for a long time. But look, people, you can see the fence through his arm. So
dude, this is... There it is, zoomed in and paused, man. It's clear as day, dude. Like, this is ridiculous, man. This is crazy. Like, this is just like the chair through the table. This is crazy, man. When you see this, when you can see the fence through his arm, like you see, you have got to ask yourself, are you witnessing something real? And thank you again, Steve, so much for the help and the love and the support. Some of you guys, if it wasn't for you guys, like, I'd never get any support, so I appreciate it to the fullest. He's a hologram, they're saying. A hologram, AI, you take your pick. I don't know if you're going to be able to... This leans more hologramish, and this takes me back to the projector right above him, behind him, with a series of projectors up. You can make, they seem to have the whole little tent thing set up just right, with the right stuff set up everywhere, he would look like the realest. He would look like the realest thing you've ever seen. Just like Tupac did when Tupac came out on stage, singing, walking around, dancing, singing, throwing his arms around. Like, they've had time since then to make it like. And remember, the people right there in the crowd see it. Remember what I just showed you with the Queen. The people standing there in the flesh seen that. Okay? Okay? There's so many things with this, man. Like, we could go on for days. I like to bring up, the top center of a menorah in a ritual. It was all obviously ritualistic. I can't get over stuff like this, though. All this, like, this is a staged event, 1000% to me. Every show, it's something new to just add to it. Like, this is through the roof, man. Like, yeah, nice hand. See, this is what you're gonna get out of AI or something crazy. Like, that looks like the alien. Like, dude, I'm sick of it. Okay, so I'm gonna go on here and just get into. Here we are. It's 11:08. I'm gonna jump into the 21-point plan here, or 20-point, whatever you want to call it, of Trump in Gaza. Okay, he is trying to play the man of peace, the Gentile Messiah, and he wants this one. He wants them all. He wants all the accolades he can get. So that you know, the IDF controls over half of Gaza City, and this is less than 2 weeks of them going in and ransacking the place in an offensive. Israel saying they will finish the job if Hamas does not accept the terms of Trump's 20-point Gaza plan and accept a board of peace. This is what's going to happen. So they're like demanding, like, you accept our Gentile Messiah's peace plan, or like they're going all the way in and hammering it out. All the way to the ocean. Like, straight up. That's the threat. Trump says, I've got a plan, and it's been revealed for the first time, and there's a long list here of 21 points. I'm not going to read every one of them. You can go over on Zero Hedge or Gateway Pundit, multiple places. I've got links right here to both. I'll drop one in the chat right now. They go over this. If you want to read up on this, dropping one in the chat right now. You got the generals, meeting up and all that stuff. Something huge is about to happen. They're having a big meeting. I did a report on that. And of course, they're not going to tell you exactly what they're talking about. 11/11, much love. It's not 11/11, but it's 11/11. Charlie Kirk means church in his end. You see the. Okay. Now, all right, much love on 11/11. Which is still not, but it's about to be 11/11 somewhere, right? Just gonna sit here and watch the clock until it turns 11/11, unless we're gonna stay stuck at 11:10 for like ever. No, there it goes. 11/11, much love. So he goes through this long list. Again, Gaza will be de-radicalized. They're trying to say that Tony Blair is going to be the guy that oversees it, like Tony Blair. is going to come out of his hole somewhere, and he's going to be the new leprechaun leader of Gaza over these people. That's literally what they're putting here. Half of it's laughable. Like, I can't believe that you expect them to accept this. Like, it's got to be like somewhat reasonable, right? Some point in all this. But he just wants the peace plan here. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to come of it. Go to this last one right here. It shows an image, I do believe, of the area. Gaza City, the whole area, what they're saying is Israel. In this whole region, they're breaking it down to. See if I can blow it up a little bit bigger right here. Come on. Wow. The hell? All right. So the IDF has got this a current line of control all the way down to this blue line, man. So that you know, the initial withdrawal for hostages to be released and all that was back to the yellow line. Second withdrawal, the red line. So they currently have got it hunkered down all the way down to here. This is what is left. This is what is left out of this whole thing. All the years, all the killing, all of everything. They've got them cornered down to this small, tiny piece of land between Khan Yunis and Gaza City. And right now, they're demanding you accept Trump's peace plan, or else they're going to go into genocide anybody that's left. How nice of them. How nice of God's chosen people. I don't buy it. I believe you're all God's chosen people, and all the rest of it is a pack of lies. All of you that fight the good fight, I salute. You're the righteous ones here putting in the work for the good guys, and I thank you. In this world full of evil, overwhelmed with it, man. I don't know. Check the chat here. Get some final thoughts. Close this one out. Yeah. Checking a couple things here in the chat real quick. See if we get updates. There you go. Wow. All right, here. I got to pull this up on the screen. Here we go. Hologram projector used to work within the white tent. They're saying they think, the fake blood, CGI technology. Everyone's got a ton of different theories, but man, there it is. I was looking for it. Here the guy is getting up there to take it down so quickly. There it is. There it is.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, I'm sure all of you have noticed on talking about why are these people allowed to be in this canopy? Why isn't this marked off and taped off as a crime scene? And why is this guy in the white shirt taking the most very important camera down?
It looks like two devices there. Paul, it looks like there's two things hanging. There's two things. Like, one looks like a projector. It literally looks like a projector. And look at all these things that are around him. Look at this. What is this? You could say a speaker, but what is this? I've never seen a speaker. Like, what is this thing standing up here? It almost looks like there's a camera or something in this. Is that a camera or a projector there? Like, what is this thing? I don't know, man. I've seen enough tonight to shift this whole thing over to the possibility of AI and holograms and all this other stuff and other theatrics are prime in this. They're at the top. I have them above. I have them literally ranked above any real thing happening. Yeah. The lack of blood, these people running off with his body, all of not a drop on the ground anywhere or on anybody. It's ridiculous. The fact that I go back to the blood expert again, when you bring in experts, we had a guy just 30-06 and blow a ballistic skull to pieces, which is what should have happened and didn't. We had the blood experts say that blood should have came out like differently. It didn't come out in chunks how you've seen it. And he's right. It's more aligned with something you would see AI do. And thank you so much, Deanne, for the coffees and everything that you do. All the support. Everything. Thank you so much. Yeah, major op. I mean, come on. This wasn't a dude that slid up on a roof, took a long shot, Hail Mary, sniped him, and then, like, you know, all the other crap that they... And everyone that, like, has seen this Georgia... I ain't even saying his last name. He's connected to the Alphabet Gangs, man. The dude talked about the Dairy Queen getting taken down now, walking around, gray-headed, silver-headed type dude. Yeah, like I don't trust nothing. I know the history on all these cats, man. And for some of these cats to be popping up in some of these locations, they're just other signs to me that this is a massive op. They think that enough time's gone by, they can regurgitate some of these clowns they've used in the past and get away with it. But cats like us have been around for a while, and we see them. Dabu, your screen. I don't get it. My screen what? Much love, Steve. Yeah, I'm just checking the chat there. Some of the messages. Much love, Mayhem, Deanne, everybody out there. Thank you, everybody out there, for all the love and support. Take us out of here with some music and give some shout outs. What about my mouse pointer on the screen? Much love. Meaningless. So, Steve, again, thank you for everything, man. It's golden. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Works great. I'm gonna say a lifesaver. I appreciate it, man, Steve, for real. Nobody else cares that much. Thank you so much, all of you that watch my back to the fullest. Those that keep me in their prayers, I thank you to the fullest. mods, thank you. My nuts, Lauren, Wayne Bay. Yeah, end of the show. Much love. Thank you, Kenny G. Thank you, everybody out there, for everything, man. In Eon, the legendary Eon, with 7 coffee. Man, bro. I don't know what to say, because it's legendary. Straight up. Salutes. God bless. I thank you so much. As I always say, the Lord doesn't return in the coming days. I love to see you guys here next time for some Underground World News Live. Right here, W77. Much love, guys.